morning, everybody. Captain Shane, I'm in the MD-11. We have been cruising for 9 hours from Hong Kong. It's been an uneventful flight. I got some good rest in. The relief pilot and the co-pilot did their rotations, so we're all good. Here's our flight path all the way across the Pacific Ocean. We're not too far away from Anchorage now. Just a few minutes until top of descent. So let's go ahead and go through our descent and approach checklist here. So if we take a look at our landing data, we got our landing weight of 449.3, approach speed 161, quite normal for going into Anchorage from this direction of flight from Hong Kong, typical loads here. Approach speed is 161, a VRAP is 156, that flaps 35, we'll keep that. Minimum brakes, we'll use full reverse. I'll use number 3 thrust reverser because we have a pretty substantial maintenance space here at Anchorage, so if it gets stuck out or something, they can put it back. Alright, let's go over the arrival and approach briefing stuff. Hi Frank Byte, nice to meet you. I don't think I've seen you before in my chat. Welcome aboard, man. I'm going to do my brief right now. Well, if you have any questions or anything to say, by all means, please do. Alright, real quick, let's take a look at the airport. Here's the ASUS for Anchorage. Wind is 110 at 13, gusting 21. And that's right down the runway. That's fine. Yeah, ish. I mean, we're landing on runway 15, so it's about 40 degrees off from the left, but we can account for that. We'll add a few knots to our approach speed for the gust additive. ILS approach 15 is in use. We're on the Neil 7 arrival, so we have a bunch of crossing restrictions where we have to cross at or above these places here. That's for the high terrain out here. Neil is the only real hard restriction where we need to be at 250 knots, but I mean, that's no big deal. We'll probably be close to that anyway. We have a window to pass through here about 10,000 feet. At dog leg, we need to be above 7. We need to be at 5 at turn, 5,000 feet at 210 knots at mitten. And then what we'll do is we'll vector ourselves over to the final approach fix here. We need to be at 5,000 feet, but we'll start descending after that to hit the card. So I'm going to keep this in nice and tight. Oh, well, I'm glad to finally get to talk to you, man. Thanks for that. Alright, so we're not going to take it all the way out to Yone. There's no need. We'll vector ourselves down to card, which is 13.2 DME from the runway threshold. At card, we need to be down to 3,000 feet, so we need to lose 2,000 feet from Golden as we start coming around to card. We'll apply this continuous descent profile down to Cansey. We need to cross Cansey at 1,600 feet, and we'll fly our 3-degree glide slope down to the runway threshold, which is at 151 feet. The minimums here are 4,000 feet or 3/4 statute mile visibility. We should have no issues with that because the clouds are at 10,000 feet and we have 10 statute miles visibility. The decision altitude here is 401 because we're category D. Actually, we're more like category E, honestly. 401 Barrow. MSA is it kind of changes, right? So 1,800 feet from this direction, but it turns into 5,600 feet from this direction. But that's within 25 miles of TED. We're going to be well inside that range, right? So we won't be getting into any high terrain if we keep this profile. In the event of a missed approach, hold on. I need to set my altitude down. There it is. Look at that timing. Vertical alert. Alright, crew, heading down. In the event of a missed approach... Hey, Cap. Hey, Tweedle. Morning. In the event of a missed approach, we're going to climb to 800, then climbing right-hand turn to 3,000 on heading 200, outbound to TED VOR to UCAP and hold. But what we're doing is we're just going to fly right... a right close traffic pattern. We're basically going to reduplicate the arrival and come back around, try it again. Okay, CTAP is on 118.3. I've already got that in on VHF2. Let me know if there's any questions. So let's get the radar pointing down. We got some weather it looks like we might be descending into, so let's make sure we're ready for that. Windshield anti-ice is not required yet, but we may want to turn it on as we go through these clouds, depending on the temperature. Decision height is 401. Seatbelts on. Okay. And let's see here. Add drag. Getting a little fast here. And transition altitude is set. No altimeters yet. Let's see. I'm having a hard time landing that base. I know it doesn't work. I just do it because it makes me feel good, Frank. Frank, are you using my modified flight model? I've been sending it out to a lot of people lately. It helps with the elevator control and the aileron effectiveness. So, if you'd like to try that file out, just come over to my Discord server and I'll give you the file. I'm flying it right now. So if you've been watching me fly the MD-11 and you like the way it handles, it's because I'm flying with my personally modified flight model for that purpose. I found that the stock rotate MD-11 controls to be almost impossible to flare and control the elevator for the landing and the takeoff. You have to pull the yoke all the way back into your lap to get it to come off the runway. I don't have those issues with my files. Yeah, go to the, hey, Frank, go to the flight, here. Go to this channel, flight simming, and if you look at the pin messages up here, it'll be this one that says rotate MD11.acf right here. That's going to be the flight model update. And as always, back up your files first. Frank, I do have some hours in the Cessna 172, about 25 hours. I never did complete my private pilot's license because I got busy with life and kids and work and stuff. Wives, ex-wives, girlfriends, baby mamas, you name it. So, one of these days I'll get back to it. I have more money than time in my life right now. When I was younger, I had no money. Now I've got money and I have no time. Go figure, right? And drag. Alright, what is the altimeter again? Let's double check that. Altimeter 3011. Okay. brakes track. All right, altimeters cross check. Let's do an altitude check at 17,000 feet. All right, altimeter check coming up. Crossing 17,000. Now, altimeter's cross check. It was my uncle that told me that. He said, problem with life is that you have more money than time when you're an adult. And I was like, man, that's so true. Right? Picking up a little turbulence here. Go ahead and reduce our speed to 340 just to give us a little bit of margin with this turbulence here, because we're coming down pretty fast here and we're getting a little bit close to the barber pole. I'm gonna go ahead and slow us down so we have a little more margin in case we pick up a big gust or something. As far as gusts, we do have some gusts going on at you know what? I was just thinking, this is getting a little bit fast here with the gusts. Nah, we'll keep it. No, we're gonna do flaps. We're gonna do a flaps 50 approach. Clear this out. We're gonna do flaps 50, and we'll add 3 knots for the gust. I haven't done a flaps 50 approach in a while. It's not really necessary for this runway, but I kind of want to just to remind myself how the aircraft feels at flaps 50. I don't do it very often, so. I'm probably gonna mess up my my 3 landing streak of butter landings because this aircraft just does not land very well with flaps 50. We're probably going to slam her down. I just got to remember to stay in the power almost until we touch down with flaps 50 because it just sinks so much. We always use that intermediate. So during the approach, you go from you can either go to slats first, or you can skip it and go straight to flaps 15. But flaps 15 is always the initial. Here we go. FMS speed. Flaps 15 is always an initial flap setting. You don't skip that one. I typically go flaps 28 and gear down as I intercept the localizer. Or, correction, if I intercept the glide slope, but you can do flaps 28 a bit sooner. Oh, no, I'm all... Hey, so, Frank, I'm constantly trimming. Like, I'm constantly trimming the aircraft as I'm flying just to neutralize the stick forces. Like, the trim is always moving. So if you want to follow along with it as I'm landing, watch this snap trim setting. You'll see it constantly going back and forth. That's me. I don't leave it, because if the aircraft starts to get nose heavy, I'm going to trim it back, right? If the aircraft starts to climb and I have to push the stick forward, I'm going to trim it nose down to neutralize it. I want to keep the sticks at force neutral as possible, and I use the trim to do that. I typically will stop trimming though as in the last 100 feet or so. Like, that's it. You got to stick with what you get, so you don't lose the feel of the aircraft as you're starting to flare. If you're still trying to trim as you're flaring, you're going to be chasing a moving target. Exterior lights.
Altitude.
Rush checklist complete, 1,000 to go. We're gonna level off at 10.5 and slow down a bit, because we're still coming in pretty fast here. Leveling at 10.5 as we slow down. Wow. Look at that. See that over there? This is beta 6 right now, and it's introduced a lot of this blocky stuff right now. I didn't have that in beta 4. I should have just left it. That's annoying. Okay, slowed it off. Let's fly profile down to 6,000 feet. I see a Kalita Air 747 down there at you know what? Let me make a quick adjustment here. Frame rates are getting a little bit low. Let's try that. Look at that, look at that, look at those, look at this beta 6 clouds. Don't you love that? Golly, that's so annoying. Look at that. Now, hopefully they fix that soon. That's really stupid. Okay, we are way fast. Speed brakes.
Stabilizer motion.
Slats extend. Okay, a little more drag on this thing. I never had these distortions before the latest beta 6. Okay, profile down to 5. Alright, speed brakes, retract, flaps 15. 210 thrust.
Altitude.
192 thrust. I'm gonna go heading select here, and I'm gonna go vertical speed down to 3,000 feet. And let's get direct Carta. I'm gonna go nav. Spoiler handle, armed, auto brakes minimum.
Stabilizer motion.
Okay, I got glide slope and localizer alive. To go. I thought I was lagging a little bit there. Okay, approach land is armed. I'm gonna go back to heading select. I want to make sure we have a good entry onto this thing. Moving on, localizer. Localizer captured. Anchorage traffic. UPS 272 on the ILS 15 Ferg. I don't. That's why. I'm listening to myself. Okay, stand by for the glide slope. Glide slope, gear down, flaps 28.
Stabilizer motion.
.164 thrust.
2500.
Alright, Mr. Approach altitude set, and I'm gonna fly runway heading in case we have to go around initially. Flaps 25. Flaps 50. Landing checklist. Landing gear down 4 green. Spoiler handle armed. Auto brakes minimum. Flaps and slats.
Stabilizer motion.
Set for landing. Altimeter's across check 3011. EAD is check green box. Landing clearance. Anchorage traffic. UPS 272 heavy on final 15. Anchorage. Alright, here we go.
Autopilot. Autopilot.
Throttle. Got about a 10 knot crosswind right now with gust.
Approaching minimum. 400.
There's a gust.
300. Minimum.
Continue.
200.
Yeah, that gust really changed it.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Versus normal. Manual braking. Versus stowed. Anchorage traffic UPS 272 is clear 15 at Mike, taxi to UPS ramp via Romeo. Anchorage traffic. Alright, let's get out of the way. We got an aircraft coming in. He's not talking to anybody, but we'll get out of here in case he wants to vacate here. Spoiler handle up, retract, disarmed, flaps and slats. Up. Auto brakes off. Radar off. Lights. Alright. Anti-ice not on. APU. Started stamp trim. Degrees aircraft nose up. Stamp trim set. After landing checklist complete. Yeah, I mean, that was pretty good. 116 feet a minute. I'll take it. I wonder what radio frequency this guy's on. Maybe he's on Unicom. UPS ramp coming up here. Wish I could watch this guy landing, but I got a taxi here. Yeah, look pretty good. Oh, I gotta drive. Hold on. Hey, Marshall in sight. Parking brake set. Parking checklist, transponder. Standby, fuel switches. Windshield anti-ice, defog, emergency power, emergency lights, IRS, beacon light. Parking brake released, external power on, APU power off, APU off. There you have it, folks. That was pretty good. Man, I've been doing a lot of flying over the last couple of days. So let's see. We started this trip 2 days ago in Honolulu. We flew from Honolulu to Sydney, Sydney to Hong Kong, and Hong Kong to Anchorage. I would kind of love to take this plane back to stateside, but I don't know if I have it in me, man. I'm a little tired. I am curious what our... Oh, wrong button. Hold on. 1 second. Let me fix this. I'm curious what our MD-11 distribution is in the fleet. So let's take a look and see if we need to get this plane relocated somewhere else, or we can leave it at Anchorage. So all right, let's see. What do we got here? A lot of them at Ontario. 2 at SDF and 5 at Anchorage. Yeah, I can't do that. I got to get another aircraft over to Louisville because we only have 2 there, and that's our main hub. Right? That's the world port. So I think I need to get this aircraft relocated back to Louisville. We don't need 5 of these sitting at Anchorage. Dang it. Guess I'm not done yet. One more flight. Anchorage to SDF. We'll get this plane there and then we'll call it a night. We'll call it a day. 2053. UPS 2053. Alright, let's plan it. It's gotta be done. Brief. Right, new flight. UPS 2053. Hey, I'm getting a lot of hours. Look at that. Oh my god. All right. No SIGMETs. All right, let's generate it.
Anchorage traffic, Korean Air 256 heavy, taxi 115 via Echo, Mike, and Radio. Anchorage.
Yeah, well, here's the problem, Tweedle. There's no real good 747, 800 options to fly. So we have a lot of aircraft there. Now, there's really only one option to fly, and that option really sucks. So it kind of sucks, you know what I mean? Like, there's one option really to fly that makes sense. File a flight plan. I think we're just gonna cut. We're just gonna cut these waypoints out of here. I don't need those. There we go. Okay, let us go ahead and re-sign in with our new call sign. $20.53. That was it, right? Yep, $20.53. And we'll do weight and balance. So I'll bring up the new flight plan here. Unload, import from SimBrief, Anchorage to SDF. I don't know. You'll have to look and see. There's a way to get it in there. I just don't know what it is. We'll definitely depart from 2.5 left. Okay. I'm going to switch that to 2.5 left. Oh, that's not even a good option, too. Are there any good options here? Oh, departing one from 1.5. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, flight plan. That's what I meant to do. Before I got distracted. Alright, let's do this. Sim brief. Cost index 90. Fuel on board will be 121. Cargo weight 158.6. 158. 600. Fuel 121. 500. Actually, we'll call it 121 even. Trip fuel is going to be 94.5. Okay, takeoff weight 531. Takeoff CG 31.6. Okay, all that looks good. Let's set this up in the FMC. We should be able to quick turn this pretty quick here. PANC KSDM. Alternate is going to be KCVG. Cost index 90. Flight number UPS 2053. Cruise altitude's going to be 330 with the step to 35 later on. Temp plus 5, so let's go minus 45 and a 50 knot tailwind component. Alright. Oh, I should have turned these off. Dang it. We'll have to realign these. There we go. Okay, flight plan. So we're gonna use runway 15 on the Anchorage 1 departure. Insert. And then from there, we're gonna go direct to TED. And then from TED, we'll go to the J501. To Joe. And then from there, we'll pick up the Q801. Oh, wow. Hello. Q801 to Lair. Direct to BKA. Oh, nope, I need to insert that. BKA. Ribbit. RIBIT.
Anchorage traffic, Korean Air 256 heavy, takeoff at 15 Anchorage.
MLIC, direct GFK. GFK. That one. Direct GEP. GEP. that one. J36 airway. J36 ODI. ODI. Insert. And then Sybil. CYBIL. And then we're going to pick up the J Money 2 arrival with the Sybil transition. And we'll plan on runway 35 left. ILS 35 left. Bourbon. Insert. And let's validate our flight plan here. Obviously, we're not going to do this big old loop, okay? We'll fly these vectors and go direct to the next waypoint, which is probably Joe. Alright, that looks really good. Okay, flight plan's good. Takeoff departure. We'll go ahead and use the SimBrief performance calculator here. Alright. Flaps 15, flex 56. Flex 56. Flaps 15. Slope 0. The wind is... Actually, am I reading that correctly? 10 knot headwind. Outside air temperature is 8 Celsius. And how these numbers compare to SimBrief. See, 155. I like it. 171. 174. Yep. I like it. Flight plan's in. Takeoff departures in. Alright, looks like our IRSs are realigned. Alright, final cockpit prep. Fuel quantity is checked 121. Flap takeoff selector, flaps 15. FCP airspeed is 263. We need to set 263. Runway heading is in. Altitude 330. Altimeters are already cross-checked 3011, but we'll double-check that weather right now. Okay, wind 120 at 10, gusting 21. That hasn't changed much. Altimeter 3010. Altimeter 3010. Okay, auto brakes. Takeoff. IFR clearance. We have got it. Our squawk code is 5664. Taxi takeoff departure brief. Okay, so we are currently at the UPS ramp. We're going to do one more flight and get this thing back to Louisville, and then I'm going to probably take a week off. So we're going to push tail facing north onto the center line here, taxi out, make a right turn onto Tango, right turn onto Romeo, and head all the way to the one-way threshold of 15. This is a short taxi for us today. Departing to the south, we're going to fly runway heading, and then we're going to pick up the Anchorage 1 departure here. And the instructions for 15 are climb on heading 149 to 600 feet, then a climbing right turn on heading 201, and then we expect radar vectors to the route. Maximum altitude 4,000 feet, but there's no ATC here, so we're going to do what we want to do. So basically after departure, we'll fly heading 201, and then we'll go direct to Joe, J-O-H, which is John Stone Point. Hey, that's your takeoff taxi departure brief. Before start pushback, status page is already on engine. APU, starting now. Doors and windows. Closing up. Aux hydraulic pump 1. External power. Let's wait on that. Wait on APU power. Okay. I'll be right back, crew. While APU fires up, I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Had to hit the lab real quick before we take off. Let's see. Have you flown an MD-11 before? I don't think I have. So in 2004, I deployed to Iraq, and I left out of Fort Bragg or Pope Air Force Base, and it was a World Airways aircraft. But I cannot tell you if it was a DC-10 or an MD-11, because back then, I didn't know the difference. I wasn't really into this stuff at the time. I was 19, and I couldn't honestly tell you if it was an MD-11 or a DC-10. But it was a tri-jet for sure, and we flew from there to somewhere in I think it was Hungary, and then from there we flew into Kuwait. But I honestly don't remember if it was an MD-11 or DC-10. I do remember it was a single class, and there was 400 people on there, and it was extremely cramped, and we had to carry our weapons onto the plane with us. So we had like rifles and machine guns all over the plane, like at our feet, and it was so crowded. I hated it. Anyway, parking brake is set. Right? Parking brake set. APU power is on. External power is off. We can pull the chocks in the ground power unit. Beacon light is on. APU bleed is on. We'll go ignition B. Engine ignition B is set. And ACARS. Let's make sure we have... Yeah, I was in the Army before I was in the Air Force. I was in the Army for like 6 years. And when we went to Iraq, we definitely left from... I mobilized out of Fort Bragg and left from Pope Air Force Base. Okay, ACARS is on. Push and start.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Is this not the coolest Anchorage scenery there is? I mean, like, come on. Look at how cool this airport is. This is freeware too, guys, by the way.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
Alright. And it doesn't look like there's anybody on the ground here, so I'm not going to talk to myself. So we'll go ahead and get the push going here. Actually, you know what we're gonna do? It's kind of tight in here, isn't it?
Ground to cockpit.
No, that'll
Please
work.
show me where you want to go.
That's fine.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Hi, crew. Parking brake released.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Click range start. Start in 3. Button out, light on. Rotation in 2. Oil pressure's good, fuel on. Fuel flow EGT. %, button in, light out, starting 1. Man, I gotta say, this Mango sound pack update has not been so great. I don't like these startup sounds at all. Yeah, they need to fix that. I don't like the way that sounds at all. Fuel on. Anchorage, Alaska, Nanny Ray. Starting 2. Fuel flow, EGT. Wow, what is that? This guy's call sign is Seriously, or SRRSY?
Operation complete. Go ahead and set the parking brake.
Brake set.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Alright, have to start checklist, engine wing anti-stuff required, APU bleed off, APU off. With ground signal. Taxi checklist, flaps 15 set for takeoff. Spoiler handle armed. Stab trim. 4.4, oh.
Anchorage traffic, 175 Yankee Heavy, pushing back, stand 6 knot on Anchorage traffic.
Oh, 5 Yankee, okay. Takeoff data. V1 155, rotate 171, V2 174, slap retract 183. I'm sorry, flap retract 183, slap retract 234, climb speed 263. I don't know what that is. Yeah, no, the 777. The 777. It's probably the freighter.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Takeoff taxi departure brief, no change. Radar. Transponder. Alright. Anchorage traffic. UPS. 2053 heavy taxi runway 15 via Tango Romeo, Anchorage. Alright, I think we're ready. Hand signal's good. Roll. Okay, noticeable steering. Check left. Check right. Brakes. Check. Hey HD Sim, I always watch your stuff too. You're I know you fly the 767 a lot, right? Nice to have you aboard, man. We'll check the flight controls on the on this taxiway coming up here on the right. Clear left, clear right. Yeah, I've seen your stuff, man. Hey, if you're interested, I've got a flight model update to the latest beta of the Flight Factor 767 if you want to flight test it for me. It fixes some of the issues with the nose wanting to climb into outer space. Okay, flight controls check. Ailerons left, 3 green. Ailerons right, 3 green. Elevator up, 2 green. Elevator down, 2 green. Rudder left, 2 green. Rudder right, 2 green. Flight controls checked. Okay, let's go ahead and do the before takeoff checklist. Status page. Engine EAD, green box. Nav, profile armed. Auto flight. Exterior lights, we'll go ahead and get those now, we're close enough. Radar. Nope, system 1. If you're willing, HD, I have a Discord server and I had the file on there. The link to my server is in my video description. I can give you the file there, and I would like your feedback since you fly the 767 a lot more than I do. So you're more qualified to tell me if it's good or bad than I am. I'm not a 767 primary guy. You know what I'm saying? Let's see here. Anchorage traffic UPS 2053 heavy departing runway 15, Anchorage 1 departure. Is it the Anchorage 1? Yep, it is. Alright, crew, clear for takeoff. Arrival end is clear, departure end is clear. Let's roll. Thanks, HD. As soon as I get airborne, I'll make sure I point you in the right direction for the file. But there's a flight sim channel, and it's in a pinned post. Please be aware it's only updated for beta 1.5. I'll need to make a correction to make it work for 1.6. Hey, look at company traffic just spawned in. Okay, cars coming up. Alright, stabilized. Set takeoff thrust. Thrust set. Airspeed's alive. Alright, 80 knots. Take off clamp. I'm not sure if this guy's crossed. Oh, no, he's. No, we're clear. Saw that guy cross in front of us, right? I think he's on the taxiway. E1. Rotate. Pleasant rate, you're up. Anchorage traffic, UPS 2050 3 heavy clear 15. You know what? Let's just go direct to Joe. Alright, let me get nav.
Anchorage traffic, White Star 5 Yankee Heavy, lining up runway 25 left, Anchorage traffic.
Getting 250 pitch. That's acceleration altitude. Speed checks, flaps retract.
Stabilizer motion.
Speed checks, flaps retract. Alright, let's capture that climb speed 263. Okay, there's 263. A little fast, correcting.
Stabilizer motion.
Alright, 10,000 feet, autopilot coming on. At the takeoff checklist, landing gear up, lights out. Spoiler handle. Disarmed, auto brakes. Off. Flaps and slats are up, retract. EAD is checked, no alerts. Exterior lights. Altimeters, holding on map. Ooh, that's pretty down there. Alaska. which one? My files or whatever they put out, because they haven't updated it in months. I'm flying. Well, what you're seeing right now are my flight model edits updates. That's what I fly on. I think it's good. Oh, I did it months ago. I've been using it for a long time. I did it. It should be good for the 1.10 rotate update that they put out a while ago. So it'll encompass the latest update that they've done, but that's about it. They haven't updated the aircraft in a while. Alright, transition altitude. Standard. And we'll do a altimeter check at flight level 190. Alright, stand by for altimeter check, flight level 190, check. Altimeter's cross check. At the takeoff checklist complete. Alright, climbing to flight level 215 for 330. Thank you. MD-11 is my primary, is my main gig. I have the 7.5, the 7.6. I do like flying the level up 737s a lot. Sure. If you go to the Discord HD, I did kind of ping you there. Click on the pinned posts. You'll see all my files here. I have my 737 level up fixes. Rotate MD-11 is here. 767. I'm gonna actually delete this one because I actually have an update to this. So let me delete that. And then I have an update to the 767. Where'd I put it? Right here. We pin this. It's a work in progress trying to get it to fly better for me. There you go. Everything's in the pin posts. And HD, I also gave you the content creator role on my Discord server. If you ever have live streams or anything you want to post, if you come up here to the content sharing tab, by all means, post links to your you can post links to your live streams here for people to watch, or anything you put on your YouTube channel. Alright, flying to flight level 285 on the way to 330. Hey, as always, make sure you back up your files. If you don't like what I did, or it screws up something on your end, make sure you have that ACF file backed up, and the airfoil files as well. ACF file is going to go in the main 767 directory, and the airfoil files go in the airfoil folder. But again, back them up. And also keep in mind, anytime you update their beta, it's going to overwrite my files, and you'll have to put them back in. And I'll continue to update my stuff as they release updates. The problem is it's a little laborious to do, because I have to manually go in and re-enter the things that I did in the ACF file. But you know, that's fine. I'm kind of thinking I might be done with the changes until they kind of settle on a final configuration, because they're releasing updates every few days, and it's a lot of work to update it every time. I wish they would actually acknowledge that the flight model is crappy and fix it, but they don't seem to pay attention to that. Unless it's just me, but every time I fly that plane, it rotates itself off the runway, and it keeps pitching up and pitching up and pitching up, and it'll go to 30 degrees nose up if you don't do something about it, and that's not correct. Stand by, level off. Hold 33. Our crew, level up, flight level 33. Step climb coming up at 1,500 miles. Wow, let's see, when are we predicted to get into Louisville? At 2048, and it is currently 15:37. So 5 hours from now, we should be landing at Louisville. But I will not subject you guys to 5 hours of me cruising along in Alaska and over the United States. We got a long way to go here. If you take a look at Navigraph, that's a long way. So I'm probably going to go ahead and end this stream now. I got quite a bit of chores I can do. I'm going to shampoo the carpet in my office here, do some dishes, fold some clothes, go to the grocery store, and I'll probably live stream the arrival into Louisville because I've been having such good landings. I'm 3 for 3 right now. I kind of want to see if I can keep it going. Lately, some of my MD-11 landings have been really crappy for no good reason, but the last 3 in a row have been really good. So I kind of want to see if I can do it again, and I'd love an audience to do it. So if there's no other questions for me in the chat, I'll go ahead and shut this down, but I'll stick around for another minute or two in case anybody has anything else they want to add. Oh, hey, Doom Guy, that's a great question. Yes, it is, and actually most aircraft do. So, this is called your deck angle, right? And it is quite normal for most aircraft to fly with a slight deck angle, some more than others. We are kind of heavy right now, and if you look at the performance here, our optimum altitude is 340, but our max is 37. So we could actually go up to 35 right now. Tell you what, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and do that, and I want to show you something. So keep an eye. Let's do this real quick. It won't hurt anything. So you notice our pitch angle right now is about 3 degrees up. Watch what happens when we fly up to 350. Let's go up to 350. Now we're capable. Climb thrust 350. So the reason that is because your wing produces lift at different angles of attack, right? But because of our aircraft weight, the wing needs to pitch up a little bit more to generate enough lift to maintain a level flight. And depending on aircraft weight, the airfoil of the aircraft, airspeed, different factors, it's always going to have to pitch up a little bit to maintain enough lift to maintain that altitude, right? So MD-11 does fly with a little bit of a higher than normal deck angle from other aircraft. You won't see that as much in like a Boeing. The Boeings tend to fly a little more level. That's just the way that they're set up.
Altitude.
1,000 to go. But we'll see what our deck angle is going to end up at flight level 350. So the higher we go, the thinner the air becomes. So that means we have to increase our angle of attack to maintain a given a coefficient of lift that we need. Now I can show this to you in airfoil maker. So let's look at it. Let's look at the MD-11 airfoils. Let's use the mid airfoil. So this is airfoil in Flight Sim or X-Plane 12 for the MD-11. So the coefficient of lift at zero angle of attack is 0.07, right? Which is actually not very much. It's kind of on the low side compared to some of the other airfoils that I've seen. So that means that it has to fly at an increased angle of attack to generate enough lift to maintain a given altitude. Okay. So right now we're at about a 3.5 degree pitch angle, which is a little bit high because we're a little bit heavy for this altitude, right? The optimum is 340. We're at 3.5. We could go up to 370, but to do that, we have to fly at a higher deck angle, which means we have more induced drag, which means we need more thrust to overcome that. So it is normal. I'm talking in circles probably, but aerodynamically this is okay. But this is why. Our angle of attack is probably somewhere in here. Right? Actually, I'll tell you. Let's even find out what our angle of attack is right now. So I'm going to do a cycle dump. Now let's look at that. And we'll tell you exactly what the angle of attack is that we need to fly to get enough lift out of the wing to maintain this altitude. So, this is a lot of mumbo jumbo here. So basically, our angle of attack right now is pretty high. So the alpha lookup is 8.7. So we're actually, to maintain this cruise level, or this pitch, to maintain this altitude, the aircraft has to maintain an angle of attack, which I believe is a bit high, about 8.7, which puts us right about here. Okay? So it has to generate that much lift to maintain this flight. I don't know if I answered your question. Long story short, yes, it's normal. And it's a little more pronounced on the MD-11 as opposed to other aircraft. Again, I find that Boeings tend to cruise at a lower deck angle. It's just the design of the wing. It's probably a little too much. I probably spent too much time talking about it, but yeah, that's essentially why. Alright, crew. This flight's going to be about 5 hours, so I'm going to be gone for 4.5 of those doing chores. I'll be in the office, but I'm not going to be sitting here that long, so I'll put a thing on my channel for the arrival, usually about 30 minutes to an hour before. You'll see like an impending live stream for this. But I'm going to take off. I'll catch you guys later. I got some chores to do. Bye-bye.